Hello and welcome to another episode of Atomic Vinyl Reviews. And first of all, I want to start off by saying I'm really sorry that I haven't uploaded anything in a while. My internet has been garbage recently, and I've just been really busy with lots of stuff. But I have lots of content on the way. 90% of the next videos that are going to be coming out in the coming months have actually already been filmed. I just haven't gotten time to both edit them, and they're very long videos, a lot of them, so they take a lot of time to upload, and everyone in my household can't use internet while that's happening, and it takes a couple of days to upload anything. So yeah, that's been a big reason why. But today I have an unboxing video, and since this is a pretty exciting one, I figured I'd definitely squeeze this one in here, even though I have all these things going on, and hopefully I'll be able to upload it for you guys. So today, because everybody recently has been, getting all these new Yuji Sakai X Plus 30cm scale Shin Godzilla figures, and I've just been jealous as hell watching all of this play out on the various Facebook Godzilla groups. I wasn't able to pick up one actually, but I decided to go for a resin model kit of Shin Godzilla, and I've always been interested in trying out a resin kit, and since I can't get anywhere near to be affording one of the ones that I actually really wanted, like the Hideaki Anno Kyoto, the big huge like movie super accurate Shin Godzilla that they released, which costs like over $1,000 or something like that. So since I couldn't do that one, and I couldn't get some of like these really fancy sort of other garage kits or anything like that, I went for a bootleg. And I know what everyone's gonna say, especially all the kit builders. They're so hyper against bootlegs, but man, I'm poor and I don't really care at this point. So, I figured there wasn't really much info about these, no videos or anything, so that's why I'm putting up this video. So today we're going to be taking a look at a recast from Thailand that I got from eBay of the TS Facto, or however you pronounce that, Shin Godzilla figure. So this one, I'm really excited to get this one. You can see I'm super sweaty because I just went all the way to the post office and back, and I live in Australia, and it's on the verge of summer, so it's pretty hot. But first of all, it comes in this huge box, because look at this thing. It's not actually that heavy, this box. It's kind of heavy because it's a solid resin figure, and by the sounds of it, this figure should be pretty large, bigger than an X Plus. Let's get into it. So this is big box. So gotta first of all, came with this little knot tied around it here. So let's get rid of that. Been super excited for this guy. It looks pretty good, the sculpt, from the photos I've seen. With these sort of kits, the bootleg sort of recast ones, you never know about the quality, but I've had really good experiences with the vinyl kits, and this seller had really good feedback and all of that, 100%. So looked very promising. And like I said, a lot of people give these kits a lot of crap. But, since you're like building the kit from, practically from scratch anyway, if you have to fill in a couple little imperfections here and there, maybe resculpt a bit here and there, I completely don't mind that. So saving hundreds and hundreds of dollars, because this thing was like easily less than half the price of this kit's new, how it would have originally been. Not only to mention that I don't think you can find these kits anymore anyway, unless you find a used one that hasn't been built or anything like that, and they'd be very expensive anyway. So, I feel no guilt, is basically what I'm trying to say. I think it's fair enough to check this one out, and I'm letting you guys check it out with me, because a lot of you guys I know would really love to see this thing in the flesh. I'm really curious because, again, this is my first resin kit, because I've done a bunch of vinyl kits, and the process of a resin kit seems very different. But I'm just opening it here on the floor because it's a little easier. We've got a styrofoam box in here, so it's nicely protected. It feels like it was packed well because nothing's rattling around in this one. First of all, we get a sponge in here at the top, and here we get photos of what the finished kit would look like. As you can see, looking pretty accurate here. It's a cool looking figure. And, oh, I think these might be the dorsal spines in this. Yeah, very accurate. Not, like, perfectly perfect, but really close from what I've seen. I might even, like, we'll see when we actually get the figure out, but lots of sponging, which is really cool. Lots of little pieces wrapped up and covered in bubble wrap. Here's a bit of, here's a first little bit of resin that I can see through this piece. Oh, it's a leg. Nice big leg and very beautifully detailed, actually. Like, I know I haven't seen the original, but I wouldn't be able to tell that this is a recast. It's done pretty nicely, if you look at that. You see that there. Hopefully it's in focus for you guys. It's a nice big Shin Godzilla leg. His shin. Let's get all of this stuff out and then we'll, you know, unwrap it all. Got another leg. We have one leg, like, already. This is an X plus. Like, this is the 30 centimeter X plus Godzilla, 1954, and this is Shin Godzilla's leg, and it's like up to his belly. Ooh, like, look at this. This is the Band Presto Shin Godzilla. It's almost as tall as him, just the leg. Here we've got our instructions, by the way, guys. There's a parts list, photos of all the pieces, there's some photos of it completed, and some, you know, instructions in Japanese. So that's very cool. They actually included all of this stuff as well as these photos, which is really nice. Nice little glossy photos of the finished product. So very professionally done for, you know, a recast from Thailand. Now, all of these smaller pieces, they seem to be first wrapped up in this sponge material and then wrapped up properly in bubble wrap afterwards to hold it together. So it's really well protected. This is a segment of the tail. Nice heavy bit of resin again. Really nicely detailed. All these bits are intact. There's even just a little bit of extra... Oh no, that's just like polystyrene there. We'll clean that off later. Very nice. Really excited to work on this one. Let's see what we got here. Oh, here we got one of the exciting bits. Here we got the main part of his face. So you can see that there. He's missing, of course, his bottom jaw and his teeth at the top there. That's going to be in separate pieces. It's a nice big head. Very, feels very sharp, this thing. Very crisply detailed, especially these spines on the back of his head. They're beautifully detailed in there. I hope you guys can kind of see that. Oh, my screen went... Oh, there we go. It's a little darker than it is in person for some reason for this bit. You can tell that somebody spent quite a while just packaging this thing up really nicely, so that's really cool to see. That's a lot of effort went into preparing this thing. Let's put that away. And for some reason this foam is sticking to these spines, so that's not going to be a big issue, but... Here we have our our Shin Godzilla spines in all their glory. Looking really nice. Again, these things are very, very nicely textured, and they all look nice and crisp. Yeah, this is really weird. The sponge is sticking to one side of these spines, so I'm going to have to clean that off afterwards. But again, not a big issue. If you look at that. Ooh, here we have the really creepy, gory end of Shin Godzilla's tail. You can see that there. Very nice. Very bony. This is so super detailed, by the way. This is I did a review of the 25 centimeter X Plus. I had that figure. I was kind of disappointed in that one. Looked like it was I mean, it was a good figure, a very good figure, but for X Plus standards, that 25 centimeter scale Shin Godzilla was very rushed, and the sculpt was subpar. But this thing, oh man, this thing is super detailed. His arms here, like you can see all these like muscle fibers and veins in this thing. I looked at some of the other things that the same sculptor who did this particular sculpt did. He does some pretty cool stuff. He's got like these weird skeletal macabre artworks that he does. I forgot his name. I'll probably put it in the description or somewhere. But and he also did that, like he did a famous, like pretty well known 2014 resin kit as well, and he also did that Ghost Godzilla sort of skeleton kit that everyone seems to love, that you see quite often. It's one of those also pretty famous bootleg kits that you can find. And here we got his jaws. Nice. He's looking really gory. Look at that. So you can see we've got his bottom jaw here. Whoop. His bottom jaw here. His teeth looking really mean. And his top one here. And so this is gonna complete his face. This little top one. Like, it looks a little weird, but trust me, once we get it glued in perfectly and we get some filler in there, it's gonna look pretty nice, I think. Like, the top jaw is sort of having a little trouble fitting in perfectly, but like I said, I don't mind having to sculpt in some stuff to get it working perfectly or anything like that. I am an amateur sculptor myself, so that's no biggie. But this is a really good start to work with. Very cool. We've just got a huge chunk of tail. Like, we still have to have it like another one here. Jesus, this thing is going to be massive. I mean, really massive. Okay, I think we finally found the main body. There it is. Look at this. Huge piece of Shin Godzilla resin right here. I really love the texture of this. It's like very rough sort of tree bark sort of texture. It's beautifully done. Obviously you'd have these pieces connecting. That's very nice. They don't quite fit perfectly, so I'm wondering they might be a little bit warped. If worst case scenario, I'll just fill that up quite heavily. I mean, obviously you have to pin these with little metal bits to make sure they hold very well, but I'll look around for some tips on, like, maybe if you heat it up really good, it'll help unwarp it a little bit. But even so, even if it is a tiny bit warped, for me at least, it's still worth just how affordable this type of kit is. So yeah, this is the last chunk of tail. There we go. So this is how our Shin Godzilla tail would piece together. Okay, so this is the majority of the tail. I can't even hold all of it in one go because it's in just so many huge pieces. But yeah, I'm a little speechless right now. Oh god. Just to give you guys an idea, this is a Monster Arts figure. SH Monster Arts Godzilla 1954, and this is our TS Fasco recast. Alright, so just to give you guys a really solid idea of how big this Shin Godzilla is, this is this I'm just sort of loosely holding him up next to the Ban Presto and the SH Monster Arts right here. So you can see he really towers above these two figures. Just a huge figure. So if you're wondering whether to get this just based alone on size, you really don't have to worry. This thing is one of the biggest figures I'll probably have at this point. Not the biggest, but because I have the Jack Specific 2014, but this thing is really impressive. So definitely much bigger than an X Plus, and apart from those gigantic figures, but they're insane. But also, if you're worried about the detailing, don't be, because the details are really crisp. It's really impressive, and it looks really accurate too. I mean, I've seen the photos. They're not perfect, but they're pretty damn close. Much closer than a lot of other figures. I also did want to show you guys that it does say Toho and TS Fasco under here, so it does have the copyright info of the original kit down there. I don't believe this is the original kit, of course. It is a recast. It's from Thailand. It's cheap, and it's awesome. So I also will add that while I was messing around with it, I did break one of his fingers. That's no big deal, though. I can fix that pretty easily. But it is something just to note that you got to be careful with this thing. But I'm just trying to fit this in front of the camera and moving it around, and it's just crazy to try and show you guys what this thing's like. But overall, I will say I have absolutely no what's the word? Regret for picking up this bootleg figure. It is beautiful and really impressive and really worth the price. So that's pretty much sort of my first impressions of seeing this thing in the flesh. I hope you guys enjoy this video. I'll definitely be putting up more videos of this thing up on in the future. When I start working on this thing, I'll do some production videos, and the final thing when it's done, I'll be putting up photos on the Atomic Vinyl Reviews Facebook page, so you can see this all the different photos of this kit before it started on over there, so you can get sort of an impression of all the detailing. Any little, if I find any imperfections or things, I will try and take photos of those to show you guys. Overall, I've seen a couple of little spots here and there that look a little bit unfinished, like some smoother area like back here. One of Shin Godzilla's eyes looks a little weird, like it was on the seam line, so it looks a little distorted. We can probably fix that up. Let's see that. I think this eye is a little weird. I can probably fix that up with by just removing some material and sculpting that back in. It's no big deal. But overall, for just the amount of matter you get in this thing, it's really impressive. And if you're somebody who's good at sculpting and you want a really impressive Shin Godzilla figure in your collection, I do actually recommend picking this up. I have no regrets, because this is pretty surreal for me, to be honest. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. When you subscribe, tick off that little bell button if you want a notification when I upload something new. And be sure to check out the Facebook page, because I'll be uploading photos there. If you're pissed off at me that I'm endorsing getting bootlegs, then please keep your comments to yourself. I know I've heard them all already. Or go ahead, I don't really care either way. And yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. May all your vinyl be irradiated vinyl. Over and out.